The History Channel presents Butler, Shine and Stern, The First 100 Years. The story begins in 1901, when anti-foreign sentiment of the Boxer Rebellion forced three young men, Greg Stern, John Butler, and Mike Shine, to pick up their small shop in Peking, now known as Beijing, and strike out towards the booming marketplace of San Francisco. After the Great Quake of 1906 destroyed their second office, the threesome were once again without a home, struggling to find a place where the politics and ground were stable. They found their way to Sausalito, where their office remains to this day. 1919 marked the beginning of Prohibition. Against Greg Stern's urgings, John and Mike turned the upstairs of their Sausalito agency into one of the Bay Area's best-loved speakeasies, catering to fun-loving liberals throughout the 1920s. The upstairs is now home to Butler, Shine and Stern's production department, where alcohol flows a little less freely. Their success ran up against hard times in the 1940s, when, against Greg Stern's urgings, America was dragged into the Second World War. John and Mike persuaded Greg to donate their office space to the Allies for the manufacturing of battleships. But their patriotism didn't end there. The three were welcomed back to Sausalito as heroes after they heroically boosted troop morale by handing out candy bars on the front lines. After Greg and Mike appeared in America's best-loved television show, it's easy to see why the 1950s were hailed as the Butler, Shine and Stern decade. The 60s provided many new challenges for the agency. Their involvement in creating the image for the Beatles brought them into the inner sanctum of the world of rock and roll. The passing of Joplin and Hendrix forced Butler, Shine and Stern to take some time off and reflect. Against Greg Stern's urgings, they cleaned up, ate right, and in 1970, the whole agency ran in the first ever New York City Marathon. After inventing the internet, they returned to California, where the three divided their time between advertising and speechwriting for Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign. Fueled by their success, though some say guilt, with Reagan's landslide win, they returned wholeheartedly to advertising, where throughout the 90s, Butler, Shine and Stern created some of the most impactful campaigns of the day. Today, Butler, Shine and Stern has grown from that three-man shop in Peking, now known as Beijing, into a shop of 51 employees. Their staff possess a diverse set of backgrounds ranging from history majors to history minors. Every single one dedicated to producing smart, creative, breakthrough advertising for at least another century to come.